First question that we're asking of all the candidates and you, the incumbent, why are you running again for the 24th Congressional District?
Well, first of all, it's been a great honor to represent the Central Coast in Washington. I'm running again because I think that I have been effective in providing results for the Central Coast. But there's a lot of work that needs to be done. We need to continue to bring down our healthcare costs, prescription drug costs. We need to address climate change, prohibit future offshore oil drilling off our coast, and bring about economic opportunities for the Central Coast. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done, and I'm committed to continuing that work to improve people's lives here on the Central Coast.
So your job's not done yet. Okay. What are the major issues confronting voters in the 24th District in 2020?
Well, I think there are very similar issues that we've been dealing with over the past few years. One is healthcare costs, premium costs, prescription drug costs continue to be a really big issue. And that's why I am glad to have voted on legislation that has passed in the House to bring down prescription drug costs. Also addressing climate change and ensuring that we move towards renewable energy and prohibit future offshore oil drilling off our coast, and providing economic opportunities for everyone. Those are the types of things that the community is concerned about, as well as Social Security and Medicare. People want to make sure that those important programs for seniors continue, and they continue in a robust way.
Is fossil fuel-based energy development more important to the 24th District as opposed to renewable energy sources?
Well, renewable energy is really the future. And we need to come to terms that while fossil fuels played an important role centuries before, we now need to move towards this new energy that will not only help save the environment, but also provide new sectors for employment, new job opportunities. And I think the future is in renewable energy.
Is climate change an imminent threat to our way of life?
Absolutely. Climate change is one of the most important crises that is facing our Earth and our local community. And I think we need to do everything possible to take bold action that really comes to the heart of addressing climate change by reducing and mitigating the emissions that are causing this problem, by making sure that we are moving towards renewable energy, by making sure that we're doing everything possible to mitigate the effects of climate change. We need to look no further than our own community to consider the fires, the droughts, the impacts that we're experiencing. And without addressing climate change aggressively, this is only going to get worse.
How and why is the agricultural industry important to the 24th District?
Agriculture is the #1 industry on the Central Coast. And that's why I'm proud to have voted for the USMCA, which is NAFTA 2.0, that really provides for more opportunities for our agriculture community here on the Central Coast. I'm also proud to have worked hard to move forward the Farm Workforce Modernization Act that would provide a sustainable workforce for our local ag industry, and making sure that we also provide a legal path for those workers that provide those invaluable services. So agriculture is absolutely the one industry and an area that I've been focused on pretty aggressively.
Do you agree with the current federal administration on immigration issues? What changes do you advocate?
Well, I think we need to look at immigration comprehensively. But short of that, we need to make sure that we are moving forward legislation to protect the dreamers that we have made a promise to, that they could stay in this country. And this president reversed course. I am proud that the House moved forward the Dream and Promise Act legislation to provide that type of future for our dreamers. I think we also need to make sure that we provide a legal path for those that are working in agriculture, because we have such of a labor shortage that's a real crisis when it comes to our agriculture. And in general, we just need to make sure that we are providing opportunities for others that contribute to our economy to come out of the shadows. And we also need to make sure that we are securing our borders, but smartly, not with a wall, but with technology and boots on the ground.
Thoughts on the current impeachment process?
Well, certainly, I voted to impeach this president. I didn't go to Congress to impeach a president. But when we saw that this president broke the law, clear evidence came forward, I took an oath as a Marine and both as a congressman to uphold the Constitution And so I felt it was my responsibility to make sure that when this president broke the law and invited a foreign government to meddle in our elections in a coerced way in exchange for the aid that Congress had allocated, if that's not a violation of our laws, I don't know what is. So I voted for this impeachment. It went to the United States Senate. And I still hope, even though it's not looking like, that they move forward in a fair way. But at this point, it's looking like they are choosing party over country, and it's really unfortunate.
Let's see. Assuming that President Trump is not removed from office, should he be reelected in November?
I don't believe so. I think this president has demonstrated that he has worked to break the law. He has worked to divide us as a country. He has not really done what previous Republican and Democrats presidents have done to unite us, to aspire us to move towards greatness, to really look at areas that we could come together on and find common ground in a bipartisan way, to address our economy, to address our health care, to address this important crisis of climate change, to bring about comprehensive immigration reform. This president has really only worked to divide us, has not really taken the high road, and every day wakes up and tweets not positive things, but demagoguing individuals, groups, those that are the most vulnerable in some cases.
What are your solutions, ideas to deal with the growing homelessness issue? Some say crisis in the 24th District.
Absolutely. It's a real crisis. It's a real challenge. I think what the federal government has been doing, and I voted for, is continue to make sure that the resources continue to flow to local communities and states so that along with state resources and local resources, we could bring about the type of solutions that are really pragmatic and needed, such as housing. Housing is perhaps at the core of addressing homelessness. And then we have substance abuse and mental health services that are also needed. So ensuring that the federal government does its part, including innovative programs. Recently, I was at a town hall meeting, and somebody spoke about how we need more safe parking programs like the one we have in place. And those are the types of things we need to do. But this isn't just a multi-government problem, state, federal, and local. It actually includes our entire community of faith, our private sector, all of us working together to moving forward to addressing this very important crisis in our own community.
Should access to health care be provided to all at federal government and taxpayer expense?
I think healthcare needs to continue to be improved. Right now, we have a system that's been improved because of the Affordable Care Act, and we need to build on that. And we need to provide innovative ways that continue to bring down our healthcare premium costs and the prescription drug costs that everybody is enduring right now in our country. We need to aggressively find solutions that achieve that. And I'm open to almost anything that gets us there. And what we don't need is individuals that are in Congress trying to take our health care away, and not providing solutions to improve it and to give economic relief to working middle-class families every day.
So another candidate was critical, apparently, that you did not participate in the debate. And just want to know if you have a response to that.
I am committed to debating now. I'm committed to debating in the future. So it's just a matter of making sure our schedules allow for that. Every day I'm working on fulfilling my responsibilities as a member of Congress, and that is my number one priority. And to date, I know we're looking at addressing and scheduling a number of debates in the future. So I'm committed, as I've always have been, to debating. I did that as a county supervisor. I did that in all my previous congressional campaigns, and I'm committed to continuing to do that again.
And just curious if there's anything else that you want to add right now.
I will say that I think there's a lot at stake in this upcoming election. There couldn't be a bigger contrast between my opponent and I. I believe in expanding and building on the Affordable Care Act. My opponent is on record being against it. I believe in making sure that we protect a woman's right to choose over her reproductive health care. My opponent is not. I believe in making sure that we prohibit future offshore drilling off our coast. My opponent is an advocate for the oil industry. It couldn't be a clearer contrast coming up in this election. But I will continue to work to discharge my duties and to represent the values of the Central Coast, to be a good listener and to get results, which is what I think the residents of the Central Coast sent me to Washington to do.
And that wraps up our questions. Congressman Carbajal.
Thank you very much.